Hello, welcome to Paul's garden. It is, I'll turn around here so you can see me. It is May 14th, 2020, and this is Paul here. I'll turn around so you can see me a bit better. So welcome to Nashville, Tennessee. The sun's really bright, and so I'm going to do a little garden report here. We've had a really unusual spring. We had 3 days of frost that ended, was about 2 days ago. So I think it was like the May, that would be 9th, 10th, and 11th, or 10th, 11th, and 12th. 3 nights of frost. And the last date of frost here is April 15th, and usually we can plant like the first week in April. So we're really delayed. And so I'm just going to walk you around the garden and show you what we're doing. I'm standing in the butternut squash patch, and I replanted these because of the frost. It killed everything twice. We had 2 frosts actually, and so here we are. And I have a mulberry tree in the middle of it, so I sort of had to do my rows around that. And I have some asparagus growing up at the bottom of that. So these will need to be weeded and watered a little bit today. I ran the tractor through here. It's just, with one person, it's really hard to get it all done. So I'm relying on tilling and not much labor. So, and these are my cucumbers here. And they got really burned. I'll get in close on those leaves, and you can see how they're sort of white like that. And that means that they just got too hot, too cold. And so, and that little one. So I replanted in between these, and so, and I do a lot of sprouts. I'll come in with the scissors and just cut these, and these are salad greens. I ordered the seeds. You can buy the seeds by the pound, and they're inexpensive to do sprouts, and they're really good seeds. And I've got dill. It's doing really well here, and I love the way the dew is shining on the dill. That is really beautiful. And the spinach is doing well. And these are sunflower seeds that I sprout and cut the tops off with a pair of scissors. And I had to put these nets up for the birds. Yeah. And then let's see. Oh, this was my old sprouting bed here. I've already eaten all these. I come and sit beside it and just pull them out and eat them. And they're really good, but the birds and all the animals come for those sunflower seeds. So I'm going to make a little cage. And this is my little contraption. It's made of Osage orange wood. It's quite heavy. And it's for packing the soil. When I do the sprouts, I like to have it perfectly level so I can come in with the scissors. And then Melanie's planted some flowers here. They're going to be really pretty. Oh, it's exciting. Look how well they're doing. Oh, yeah. And that is a sweet pea. Yeah, that reminds her of her grandmother. That's so special. And they look like peas. Maybe that's why they're called sweet peas. And these are my tomato cages. I've got 25 of them. And on this, and I've got 5 behind the other area. And I collected the seeds from last year. The cherry tomatoes do really well here. And so I put a bunch in there, and look, I'm going to have to thin them out big time. I need just 1 or 2, but look how well they're doing. And that's just a testimony for saving your own seeds. And then my pawpaw trees are here. There's one here, but I'm going to take you to the one over here and show it to you because it has flowers on it. And they need to be pollinated. So I hand pollinate these, and I'll explain more of that when I dump the garbage out. But look at these beautiful flowers. Yeah, and they're ready to be pollinated. I don't know if you can see in there. Maybe you can. I hope you can. Oh, there's a worm in there. Well, maybe he's pollinating. Oh, I never had that. That's a bit scary. A big worm. Oh, my. Okay, there's no worm in this one. And I don't think the light's going to be real good for you, but there's some dust on there. So I'm going to get my little Q-tip and go around and pollinate a few of these during this video, I hope. And so I'm walking in leaf mulch. We had a whole bunch of leaves brought in, and that's done really well. It's taken a couple of years, and I got a lot of plastic on them. and I'm not excited about that. But okay, so the more garden here. So you get the cucumbers and the sprouts, and then I do a lot of beets. Now with the beets, I just eat the greens. I come in with the scissors. They're small, they're tender, they're really lovely. And this is a nasturtium that Melanie has right there. Right there, I told her to put it under a hat, because when you transplant something from indoors to outdoors, you can't put it in the full sun because it doesn't have a deep root. And if you read the Bible in the parable of the sower, it talks about that it'll wither, because the plant heats and cools itself with that taproot that goes way down. And so if it doesn't have the root, it's going to get too hot or too cold. And I learned that the hard way. And you know, you just learn by watching. You know, you look at these plants in the really baking sun in the summer here in Tennessee. It's brutal. And they do fine. And they cool themselves. And the reason is because of that root. It goes down to the cooler temperatures. So this is broccoli, and they're all sprouts, and I'm just going to eat the greens here. My carrots are doing well. I had my daughter over, my older daughter, and she came and yanked one out and she thought I didn't see her, and she stuffed it back in. So, and then arugula here, this is doing really well. And you can see my little signs. I like to make them out of roofing tin, and I do it with a little like Dremel tool. And I put them on Osage orange posts because it never rots. And so that works really well. They're a little sharp, but I have to hit them on the grinder. But they can catch Melanie's dress when she's walking out here. She doesn't like that. And then, so this is arugula, and it's doing really well. And you know, you can't eat that much arugula, so I'll interplant with some huckleberries or some husk cherries as the arugula starts to get bitter, which it will. And this is an old favorite of mine, Ford Hook Chard. I love this stuff. It tastes like it has sauce on it. I let someone try it, and they said, wow, it tastes like it has salad dressing on it. And it's just amazing. And I just come in with the scissors and cut it, and just cut off a hunk. And it's really good. And the cilantro here has done really well. The second half of the row from there over, that lasted the winter, which is amazing. And then this I planted from seed about maybe a month or two ago. Look how well it's doing. And we're getting a lot of this every night. And then I've got 3 lettuces. I get these from the Farmers Co-op on Eddy Street in Franklin. And there is iceberg lettuce right there. And salad bowl lettuce. And black-seeded Simpson lettuce. And it's doing really well. And then I have kale. Just the regular Siberian kale. And, oh, this row I'm really excited about. This is fenugreek, and it's really good. Fenugreek is used to support testosterone for men and maybe for women, I don't know, but it helps hormones somehow, I don't know. But it does, it is quite medicinal. I eat the sprouts a lot. And then over here I just planted peas. I buy them at the Patel Brothers in big bags. And I just put them in the ground, and these greens, these are the best tasting green in the garden probably, these pea sprouts. Oh, and then there's another contender here. Let me show you this weed. This is called Lambsquarter, and it's probably second best or first best green in the garden. And you probably recognize that if you live in Tennessee, but it's delicious, and it is so good. And so good for you too. And then over here, I eat a lot of dandelion. These are French dandelions. I got the seeds on Johnny's. And this has been delicious all winter long, and especially in the fall. And then there's another weed here that, like, I'll leave weeds in the plants if, and this looks like clover, but it's lemon sorrel. And it's delicious. It is so tasty. It tastes like lemons. And it's amazing. And it grows everywhere. And it's a huge, weed problem kind of plant. And you just wouldn't believe how good it tastes. And so I'm always humbled by the wild plants tasting better than what I grow. But it's good. It's a good kind of humility because, you know, if I didn't have a garden, I could just go out and eat the weeds. So this is French dandelion here. And you can see my little sign. And then I'll back up here. And this is Italian Red Dandelion. Now the Italian seeds are always known to be really, really good. I want to get the red veins so you can see it. Now, dandelion is in the chicory family. And yeah, you see those red veins? And that's really good, and it does really well. And then I have a plain old dandelion here, and these are amazing plants. They were brought over by the Pilgrims as medicine, and they're amazingly good plants for liver, supporting your liver. And let me tell you, we're dealing a lot with this COVID stuff. If your liver ain't happy, and it ain't taking out the trash, your immune system's not going to do well. So it's important to eat these bitter greens. And when I'm hungry, the greens don't taste bitter either. They taste really sweet. So I'll come in and eat that when I'm hungry. Like if I haven't eaten till, it's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I haven't eaten all day, I'll come out and eat that, and it'll taste like candy because I'm hungry. And but it's really good for your liver. And this is a sprouting bed, just a little sprouting bed. See how small a garden you can have? You don't have to have much space to have a garden, because you can, so here you can just do sprouts. So here I've got sunflowers mixed with peas, and I'll just come in here with the scissors. You can see all these little stumps, it's like those rainforest videos, where they come and cut everything, which is horrible, but I just come in with scissors and whack it down and pull it off, and I don't rinse it, I just eat it. But my garden's really clean, because I keep it really clean. And and it's good for your immune system to have some virus and bacteria in it, some really healthy virus and bacteria. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I want to show you. In here, let's see. Yeah, this is Melanie's little garden, and we have sun covers on it. Like this is a big sun cover. You can sort of see how you can look under there, and she's doing really well. And see how it's getting just a teeny bit of sun, and so Melanie's being really successful this year. That's my wife. I'm really proud of her. She's really taken a little time to learn. She was making a lot of real obvious mistakes, like taking transplants and putting them out in the sun, and then they just lay on the ground in about 10 minutes. But it's just listening. I think is the lesson for the day, is listening. Now this is I'm going to get a better angle on the sun. So these are fig trees. Now in Tennessee, in Nashville, it's a little too cold for figs. Okay, so what you can do is cheat by planting them on the side of this building. So this old chicken coop is facing this. I'm on the southern side, so the sun just hits this wall, and this fig tree is taken off, and it dies back every year, but it comes back in the spring, and wow, is it doing well. So I'm going to take you out to the pawpaw patch now, and sorry for the jolting. I might cut this out of the video if I can figure out the video editor, but I might not get. Oh yeah, I want to talk. Oh, this is before I leave. Hold on. I want to talk about tools. Okay, so I have a watering can right here, and this is a little potting bench table thing I made out of Osage orange, and these are my markers here, and that one says broccoli. And so anything I want that I need to plant more of, I put the stick out, and I'm going to take my hat because my bald spot's getting torched. And so I like these metal watering cans. I try to avoid plastic, and then I keep drinking water out here, and I just let it sit in the sun in glass, and that works well. And then I have these metal colanders. They work well. I get them at the up on Nolensville Road in the Asian stores, the international markets. And so the best tool I found is a rake. I learned this from Paul Gauchi on his. And what I do with the rake is I sharpen they're called tines, the teeth. So I take an angle grinder and I like clamp it to the bench, and I grind little points on these. And let me see. Yeah, they're getting a little dull. And that's important to have sharp tools, especially as you get older. You get smarter. And so what I do is I come in like this, and I'll do this one-handed, and I scratch the ground like that. Okay, and what that does is it creates movement. Yeah, and so that soil on top is moving. And then I flip it over, and then this is where you kill the weeds. You come in you do this, and you push all the pile of dirt in front of it and back like that, and it kills the weeds. So I'll go and I'll scratch and I'll pull. So and I'll scratch, see, like that. I'll pull it, and if it's loose on top, I can just go like this. But if it's not loose on top and it's hard, I'll do that first, and then see, I can do this with one hand. And this is an amazing tool when used right. And so I can come in with this rake, and all my beds are up. Okay, like see how these are up? The ones in the winter have to be up because this place floods. So I put them up in furrows so the plants aren't sitting in the water. And then in the spring, I'll show you, like these peppers and the okra, I put them down like that so they get more water. So that's, I'll explain that there. And so let me show you how I weed the sides of these hills. Okay, here's a good example. Let me get the light right. Okay, and so I come in with a rake, and see how I can get right up to those plants? And then I push. And that just weeds everything. And then sometimes I'll have like a weed in between. So I'll turn it on its side. Now let's get some better light here. I'm looking for shadow. Let me just fix this shadow problem. Okay, well. So see that weed right there? Right there, you see it? So I just come in the side, go over it, and push it. Oh, hold on. No. Oh, yeah, there we go. Away from the plant, like that. And then I can weed on the edge like that. And so this, I can just go around with this tool and do everything. It's amazing. And so I've got some more weeding to do today. Oh, and then I put a sprinkler in the middle. And so my garden's only supposed to be as big as the sprinkler's coverage area. And so that works really well, because I have a timer, and I'll walk you over and show you that. And these are all off-the-shelf parts. I mean, it's just a hose, a stake, and I put the sprinkler up high so I can get more coverage. And so I'll show you that. Well, we got more plants, you know. I guess the great thing about a video is if I'm boring, you can just shut it off or fast forward. But I want to show you the other plants I have. So, oh yeah, onions. I take onions. Melanie will reject onions in the kitchen. She'll say they're bad or something, have a moldy spot. And I'll plant them, and then I'll cut the greens off and eat them. And so these rows here are sweet peppers and okra and basil and some other greens on this row here. But let me get my my Q-tips, and I will go and pollinate the pawpaws because they've frozen and I've lost all my fruit clusters. So I'll show you how that works. So this is my Q-tip here. I keep them in a bottle with some pollen. And I'll be walking by the sprinkler controller, and I'll show you that. So these days we have so I'm bringing the garbage. So there's a reason for that. It has to do with the pawpaws. I'll explain. And so over here to the hose, the irrigation controller. So I got this on eBay. I think it was Amazon. And I think it was it wasn't expensive, but I don't know what kind it is, but you could probably look them up. And it's on my second year, and this is an amazing tool. It's just amazing, simple to use. They've really dummied it down. So the hose hooks on here, so I can set the sprinkler for as long as I want or as little as I want, and I have a well, so we're not getting a lot of chlorine in the water, and so that works really well. And so now I'm going to take the garbage and go over to the pawpaws and explain all that. So I like to use welded wire fence, 6 feet tall, for deer, because deer just come and kill everything. They'll kill your little trees, they'll just eat things, they're annoying. But I know they're part of the creation. But this welded wire fence is great. The only problem with it is that weeds and trees grow up in the bottom, and so I'm always having to dig them out, and that's really rough, especially if you have 2 layers of it and it gets in between. But no one else would have that problem but me because of all the crazy things I do, piling mulch up against the fence and stuff. So you see the pawpaws, the little flowers there? So I'm going to pollinate those off camera probably. So I take all my banana peels and my eggshells, and my daughter eats eggs, and I put them all here, and they attract tons of flies. And then I'll dump this bucket in there, and the flies will start buzzing. Now, pawpaws are pollinated by flies, and so this is a big. So I put it right under this big pawpaw tree, and you see the flowers. And so what I'll do is just pull up the flower like that, so I can get inside and get the Q-tip in there and move it around. And I had so many sets of fruit before the frost. This really is effective, but I'm not getting good fly coverage, so I'm trying to attract more flies. So yeah, so that's it. And so this area here is sort of a backup garden, and I'm planting more fruit trees. So I've got a mulberry here and a pawpaw, and so yeah, just sort of wind you around here. So I think we'll wind it up there. It's a good 20 minutes. So thanks for watching, and it's Paul in Nashville, Tennessee, May 14th, 2020. And so we'll wind it up there. Thanks for watching. Bye.